Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial video on Sony Vegas Movie Studio HD Platinum 10. Yes, there's a lot of words there. When I started learning how to use Sony Vegas, I noticed there weren't that many good tutorials on certain aspects of the program. One of these aspects was panning and cropping. That is like zooming in, making something smaller on the screen, having multiple windows, and the few cool endings that you've seen me have in the past that I nicked the idea from my friend. But anyway, I can show you how to do those later. So what I've got here is some footage, actually of me doing this earlier, but I did it wrong. So I've come back to do it right. So what we want to do is now this isn't very long, but I'm gonna press S there, split the footage, zoom in a bit. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna click on this button here, Event Pan and Crop. That'll bring up this little screen here. Which is showing us that the field of view is currently set to the full screen. And these are the settings. You might want to take note of those, depending on how precise you want to be. But knowing the resolution of the recording is basically all you need to know. So we know the width of 1280 by 720. So this was a 720p footage. Okay. So what we want to do first is we need to input a keyframe. If you've used Adobe Flash, that'll be really easy understanding keyframes. But if you haven't, it's not that hard to get hold of. This is the timeline of the footage we have. You see it goes on for the full 2 minutes the footage is. But obviously that's a bit too long for my liking. So we're going to click here, which is about 10 seconds in. And we're going to click this plus button here, which is create a keyframe. Okay. So all you have to do is, this is now selected as the keyframe. You see we can jump about to different times. We can click on the keyframe. So we're saying at this keyframe we want the video to do such and such. So what we're going to say is we want it to do a 360-degree spin. So it'll look just like this, but it'll spin all the way around. To do that, you type in the angle of 360 because you want it to travel 360 degrees. Okay, done. Now we just close that, because it just saves automatically. See, it says there green, that means we've got an effect active. If I click play, it spins round. It's a bit laggy because this is the preview, but it doesn't come out laggy in videos. I'll post a link to a video I did where I used a lot of this kind of stuff, and it was fine. So that's the basics of making something spin round. So after we've made it spin round, let's say, zoom in a bit, say after another 5 seconds, let's have another keyframe. And this time, I want the video to shrink in, and I want people to see the FX effect button. So I'm gonna put it over the FX effect button. Actually, no, let's do the preview. That's a bit bigger. It won't be as pixelated. Remember, zooming in will pixelate it because you're obviously not doing the best zoom in. So be careful with your zoom ins. You don't want to get things too bad looking. There we go, it's done that. So now if we play the video, first it's going to spin around like we told it to. It's going to spin a whole 360 degrees quite slowly. Okay, there we go, and we're done. Now it's going to zoom in. There we go. It's going to zoom in right to where I set it to, and there we go, it's zoomed in. So now what we want to do, or what I'm going to do here for example, is we're going to click on this keyframe, and we know that it was 1280 by 720. There we go. And we just need to align it so that it is perfectly aligned. I cannot remember its original alignment. Let's check here what its original alignment was. It was 640 by... Okay, say it was close. We can just apply those. There we go. Now, if we play the video again from the beginning, spin round, that's really fun, the video is spinning round. So once it's finished spinning, it's going to zoom in there on the demographics. Again, the preview will not look perfect. When it's rendered, it will look far better. Then it's going to zoom out back to the full video resolution. So that's the basics of pan and crop. Oh. Shout out to Tim the Red, who is now playing Football Manager 2013. Okay, so now let's talk about making it go a bit faster. I noticed the spinning was a bit slow, so to make it go faster, we just drag it closer to the original beginning. We're saying we want it to happen sooner. Now, to make sure everything's in line, I'm going to drag everything a bit smaller, and let's try it from the top again. So let's start. See, spinning around a lot faster now, actually. Okay, then we're going to zoom in, which is again happening a bit faster. So it's going to get that, and then it's going to zoom back out to the full thing. And there we go. That's it, done. That is the basics of panning and zooming in Sony Vegas.
I will never surrender, will free the earth and sky, crush my heart.